and that's at all times. Take one of mine, then I'ma make sure that we all cry. Homicide, homicide. Shoot 'em up. Pray that it don't be a homicide.
Thank you all so very much for tuning in to Atticus Speaks. Just wanted to give you guys some breaking news that I found completely shocking. Guys, get this. Diddy is misbehaving and the judge said bad Diddy bad. Apparently, we already have heard that Diddy has been nodding in the courtroom. Diddy has been making eye contact with the jury. At times you can see him upset when there is testimony going across that he doesn't agree with or doesn't like, obviously, because it is proving this racketeering case. And apparently the judge has said enough. I have already warned you guys. If Diddy continues this, he could be ordered out of the courtroom for the rest of the trial. Yes. See, what you have to understand is this is federal court. The rules are completely different. You can't do that. You can't do anything to try and influence the jury. There's a reason why the jury is anonymous. The jury is supposed to remain impartial and only go by the evidence that is waged inside that courtroom. And it's really not that big of a surprise. I mean, we've all heard the leaked phone calls from prison, the Kanye call, the leaked phone call to his son, tell him to get rid of all the pizza boxes, and we know what pizza boxes mean on the street, y'all. So, right now, I'm going to let you see a clip of the breaking news today on News Nation with Nicole Burley. Laura Ingle is reporting, and she is interviewing Misty Maris because this just apparently happened. So I'm quite sure the internet is breaking right now, guys. Can you imagine what would happen if Diddy was not allowed in the courtroom in his own trial? Whoa, major. Not to mention, guys, it could bring up a serious appeal issue because anybody, whether you're in federal court, state court, you have a right to face your accusers. You have a right to testify. You have a right to be in that courtroom unless you are tampering or with that jury. So let's hear what Laura Ingle has to tell us.
Involving the Sean Combs trial. Senior national correspondent Laura Ingle is standing by with legal analyst Misty Maris. And Laura, you are learning Combs could potentially be removed from his trial and not allowed in the courtroom. What can you tell us?
That's right, Nicole. This has just happened in the last few minutes, and this would be a huge development if he is removed for the rest of the trial. And what has happened here, as we are going through the cross-examination of one of Cassie Ventura's friends, who we've been telling you about, Brianna, who has been on the stand, Sean Combs has been, according to the judge, vigorously nodding during some of this cross, engaging with jurors, or at least appearing that he's trying to, looking at jurors. That is not allowed. And as you mentioned, legal analyst Misty Maris is here. I'm just going to scoot her in. This is breaking news, so we're just bringing her right in because we're here at the courthouse together. You just came over to tell me what the judge said. Explain to us what this means.
Yeah, so this was huge because what the judge admonished the defense team, saying that Combs had been engaging with the jury, meaning that he's making direct eye contact with the jury and having a reaction, nodding his head. The judge said this is jury interference. It's to influence the jury, and actually referenced that the defense was warned not only today during Bongolan's testimony, but also had been warned previously during the testimony of George Kaplan. So this feeds into a federal rule which relates to disruptive conduct by the defendant in the courtroom. And the rule says that if somebody is warned by the judge, the defendant is warned, but the conduct continues, one of the consequences could be removal from the courtroom for the remainder of the trial. And Laura, That is a huge consequence to the defense.
Yeah, and all along we've been seeing Sean Combs, passing notes, and that's allowed with his defense. He's been very active. He's been paying attention, and we have heard of him nodding along during some of the testimony, but this is something different.
Correct. So engagement with your attorneys, passing notes during testimony, even being a bit reactive to witness testimony, looking at the witness and perhaps having a reaction and looking engaged, all fine. It's when it comes down to engagement with jurors and something that could tend to influence them in some way. And what the court looks at is their influence or intimidation. Is that what the defendant is doing, and could it have that impact? So here the judge was taking a very strong stance. And keep in mind, from the defense perspective, that would be the most severe consequence, removal from the courtroom, because every defendant has the right to face their accusers. So it would set up a very significant appellate issue. The judge doesn't want to do it unless he has to, but the warning is out there, the warning shot has been fired, and it's something that could happen.
Wow, that's so interesting. And we've also heard that Sean Combs allegedly had been trying to have some witness tampering, calling people from jail, trying to get to some witnesses. So there's been this kind of alleged overreach throughout getting to this point.
Certainly. And so the judge, again, taking the legal team aside, and this was not in the presence of the jury, just so everybody understands that this is something that happens with the parties, the prosecutors and defense. And we didn't know before that this admonishment had happened previously.
Right.
So this is not the first time the defense team has heard this. The judge even saying, was I not clear this morning?
Wow.
And the defense team saying, yes, you were clear, it won't happen again, and that they'll speak to the client. But the consequence, especially with multiple warnings, could be removed from the courtroom. And the reason this matters is the jury, it's not going to be lost on the jury if Sean Combs is not in the courtroom for the remainder of his very serious criminal trial. And there won't really be an explanation. So it could be something that would be deemed an adverse inference. And the defense does not want that to happen. It would be very detrimental. Certainly we know the jury has eyes on him. And the problem is that he's making eyes at the jury. So we'll see what the judge does with this.
All right, Mr. Maris, thank you so much for that explanation. And as we continue to move through this day of testimony, we are still expecting that witness, Jane, one of the accusers in this case. So a huge day here at the Sean Combs trial, and we'll continue to bring you up to date. I just want to get that to you, Nicole, because as Misty said, this is a really big deal.
This is a really big deal. So we will continue to follow along with that. Laura Ingle, Life of State of New York, along with Misty Maris. Thank you both. In the meantime, the rift.
So much, Nicole, Laura, and Misty Maris. That was some great reporting, and I hope you guys all understand what just happened in the courtroom and how major this development could be for Diddy in this racketeering trial. Don't worry, guys. I have many episodes coming up for you. There is a special extended episode that I'm working on. We are going to dive deeply into racketeering. What are predicate acts? What predicate acts need to be proven to prove this racketeering charge against Diddy, and how well the prosecution is proving its case inside that courtroom. So that is definitely an episode that is coming your way. I am also working on another episode about Allie Carter. You guys have heard me talk about Allie before, but I'm going to go in a little deeper with Allie and really explain to you guys how important what Allie has been saying is and what it could mean for Diddy. So thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I will catch you in the next one. Have a great one.
I'm a savage. Whatever I want, I'm going to get. Whatever I want, I have to get. I'm a savage. Whatever I want, I'm going to get. Whatever I want, I have to get. I'm a savage. Whatever I want, I'm going to get. Whatever I want, I have to get. In the ghetto where we all grind, sun up to sundown, hustle all night, shoot 'em up, pressure on the nest at all times. Take one of mine, then I'ma make sure that we all come. My name is homicide, homicide, shoot 'em up, pray that it don't be a homicide, 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 shoot 'em up, pray that it don't be a homicide.